a look at this module 6. So I've got the database, and I mentioned before, I've installed Splunk just locally on the Mac, so it runs better. I have a huge problem not running fast enough, and something happened which is important. We're using a 90-day trial of Splunk Enterprise. So eventually, this will happen to you. My trial is expired. So when that happens, it'll pop up this box, and you just change it to the free license. And you still get all the features. The only thing you lose is everybody is always an administrator user now, which is pretty good. That will punish you, so you couldn't possibly use that in production, but it's fine for learning. So that's pretty good.
Sorry, Sam, say that
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Right here it tells you this license has no authentication, so every user is now just the administrator. And
Got
it has,
So
and it has,
that whole exercise we did in module
Yeah.
4, where we created
A
a
limited
second
user.
and we designated their role.
Right.
That won't.
that
be
won't
available
apply.
to
That
us,
won't be available in the free version. Oh, the other punishment is you can only measure 500 megabytes per day of new data.
which
so
we're
you-
not doing anyway because we
Yeah.
already ingested the
Right,
legacy data.
right, and so it's perfect for training.
Yeah,
But you can't use it at the company because you can't ingest a lot of data, and everybody's the administrator. So that's just what you want. You want to punish the people that are trying to use it in commercial, but let the students have access to learn. It's a really good answer. Yeah.
We don't have to talk about the specific example right now
Yeah.
because I was going to use it for later, but we're talking about ingesting data, so I figure I'd ask.
Yeah.
I had to reinstall Splunk after last time because I was having problems. Anyway, long story short, when I re-ingested the data, I didn't change the host name correctly.
Yeah.
So now I have 4 in my data view, and
Yeah.
one has the host name assigned to my Mac, which is wrong.
Yeah, you can delete them.
This is what I've been trying to figure out literally all week long.
Yeah, let me show you.
So we don't need to do it right now.
No, but I'll mention it. I mentioned it before, but it's real good to know. It's actually pretty easy, but it's
Okay.
not obvious. So let me give this thing the free version. So my thing will work again, and I have to restart it, but that shouldn't take too long.
I literally, I didn't have time to finish all the homework because I was scouring the internet for articles, and it was like, delete your job, delete your,
There
delete
are-
all these. And I was
yeah,
like,
there
I
are-
just want to delete from the index. How?
Yep, there are a bunch of articles that do it the hard way. There's an easy way. So let me see if my Splunk has started up again. Refresh or something.
This is one of those instances where I feel like it's like.
Oh, I
you
have to
feel
hit
so
save.
dumb. It's like,
Okay.
there's not an article for you because what you did
Okay.
was so stupid, no one would ever have to do it.
Add new license. I shouldn't have to do this right now. I should be able to go here. I changed to, it's free license. Oh, okay, there we go. That's there. Now I'm going to restart now. Somehow the restart didn't seem to take effect before. Yeah, restart settings, server settings. Okay, now I seem to have it. Okay, now what is this garbage? It keeps on changing to this. Well, I seem to be okay, now I'm in trouble. It won't let me do it. Free license, save. Restart Splunk. The restart doesn't seem to be working. I say okay. There it said it's restarted.
Yeah, you're in a loop.
I seem to be in a loop. So let's see if I can restart it this way. If I go to force quit, wonder if I can find, nope, I can't find Splunk there. Let me try activity. There's always these problems. See if I can find the Splunk process. Sysmon. Splunk D, there it is. I'll sort by process name so things quit moving around. And there is syslog
One.
Splunk D. Okay, there are a bunch of Splunk Ds running. I imagine that's the problem. Somehow I've got a bunch of them going. Wonder if I can terminate them. Right click doesn't work. Is there a way to terminate an activity? Okay.
Maybe the X at the top, just to the right of activity monitor.
Oh, that's a thought. Ooh. That's a good idea.
Maybe you can bulk select and quit them. Can you do that? Control.
Ooh.
We're getting fancy.
I'm sure I want to quit them all. And I think I want to force quit them all because something is not working. Let's force quit. Oh, there, I think they died. Good. They died without, okay, good. So now hopefully I can restart Splunk. And I'll see if I can get past this. Start and show Splunk would be fine. Oh, good. This is the usual startup.
I feel like you could change this class to Splunk/troubleshooting techniques.
All my classes are mostly troubleshooting, and that's the thing students need to know. Most of your homework is troubleshooting, because nothing ever works right. That's why they pay us the big bucks. All right, good. So now we're finally in business here. And now if I go to search and reporting, and I go to data summary, remember there are 3 fields of data. And this happens a lot to students.
Database
Yes.
listed twice.
Yeah, students often have 4 or they have twice the numbers. So you can delete some data. And what you do is you just do a query and then put pipe delete. But you have to give yourself the privilege of deleting, and nobody has it by default. So
Even
first,
admins?
even admins, because they don't like you deleting data by accident.
Sure.
So you have to go to, is it settings? Yes, settings, users. And now, no users found. That's a little harsh. There's got to be a user.
You don't exist, Sam.
Well, there's an admin, I think. That's a little disturbing. But I may not be able to do it in the free version, but I think I've done it before. Object not. I think something's wrong. Anyway, what you have to do is go in there, user permissions, and give yourself the can delete permit power.
To the specific user we created as the
Yeah.
power user.
Yeah, well, any user like the admin. But you have to
And
give
then
yourself.
and then what is the query?
Then you do a query to find the events you want, and then you do pipe delete. And it will delete them. The same thing that happened. So,
Well, again, we don't have to do it now. but
no, I
maybe
can't
we
do
have
it now,
to.
apparently. There's always something. But anyway, all right. So hopefully this will work well enough to do the project. Let's give it a try. So, not that one, but PDF viewer is the salt shaker. Okay, that's, where is it? Well, all right, let's get rid of this one. And
Yeah,
I,
it's the tab right there.
oh, it's up here somewhere?
Yeah, right there.
Ah, good, thank you. All right, I thought it would be in a PDF viewer, but that's life. Okay, so in fact, I should probably put it in the PDF viewer because this is being annoying with this garbage over here I don't know how to get rid of. Maybe this? Ah, good, okay. All right, so now we can catch up here. So in this lab, we're going to use fields to refine our searches, if I can get it to stop doing stupid things. Okay, all right. So in the app navigation bar, click search, okay. Search for index equal main, source type equal access combined with cookie, access equal purchase for all time. So that's here. And uh-oh, looks like it's going to give me this garbage again. Oh no, okay, good. I guess it's going to pop up that license thing forever, but I can just get it past it. Okay, so I search for this jazz. There, all right. And now I want to search for all time. Okay. Okay, I got 19,000 events. All right. Examine the interesting fields and notice that product ID is one of the fields. So here we have selected fields, and down here we're going to have product ID. There are 18 different values of product ID. If you click it, you'll see the top 10 values and the count. All right, so now that I've found product ID, I looked at that, yep. Then I want to go interesting fields, click status, right. So here's various products that were sold with product ID. And then there's status, which is probably HTTP status. And there you are, this is the typical HTTP status field. 200 means a successful query. 404 means it couldn't find the page, and so on. So the most popular thing is 200. That's good. Most of our customers actually find the page they're looking for, but there are some errors of various kinds, and you might want to research them. So to quickly view the status, I can make it selected. Right, so now the status field is down here in interesting fields. If I don't like it being down there, I can click it, and I can make it selected here. And that'll move it up here because it's important. I want to be easy to find. Now status is up there. So that's useful. And in the fields, under selected fields, click status, click the value at the highest number. Okay, so we've done this kind of thing before. So here's status, 200 is the popular number. So if I click 200, it'll add that to the query, status equals 200. So now I get a different number of events, only events that have status equal 200. And we are not seeing errors. So changing the comparison operator will fix that. This is status equals 200, but I want status not equal 200. And now I'll get a very different number of events, and these are all the errors, all the things that failed for some reason. And of course, I'd probably like to investigate these and see if there's a problem in my server or if these are some kind of malformed attack traffic or something. You have a search that only has errors. So how many events end in an error? Well, the answer is 1,301 events ended in an error. So that's nice. All right, so in the field sidebar, click status again and select no, okay, to get it to stop being selected. So it's status and stop making it selected. That'll just move it to the bottom group. All right. And inside the search, type purchase, and the search list will be shortened. Right, so here we're going to do a grep search. So I have a search here, and if I just add the word purchase without field equals value, it'll just find events that have the word purchase somewhere in the event. So I had 1,301. And now,
I know we talked about this
yeah.
last week about how quotes don't matter, but
Yeah.
For example, like if you put a space between PUR and chase, so
Right.
would it give you then PUR?
Then it would require
and
both,
chase?
yes, per and chase. And if I put a quote, I think it would look for that space in there. That would be meaningful. That
It would look for the actual string.
Yeah, the actual string. That's why I have 0 of them. But if I get rid of that space, then it's back to finding 1,301. Yep, exactly. And that's why this is treated as AND with all these others. All these conditions have to be true, unless you put in an OR. All these conditions have to be true for an event to be selected.
Yeah, I'm just having trouble with the consistency there, but I mean,
Yeah,
I'll get over it.
Yeah, the consistency of the quotes is a little screwy. You're right. Anyway, all right. So click Search History. You'll see your search criteria, and they might be saved for a long time. And filter for things including purchase. So Search History is where's the Search History? They're going to tell me. Click Search History. Well, I don't see it. Search History, is it one of these things?
Maybe
Export.
Control F and look for search history.
Happened to me and I couldn't find.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to Google. Where is it? Splunk. I think it's a down button or something. Where is Search History? By using the history command, at the bottom of the search summary view.
Search summary view is
This thing. Well, I'm really not seeing it. I know it
maybe
exists.
that is the history.
No, there is a thing called Search History. I've seen it before. It often pops up when I don't want it.
And this is supposed to be the history of queries that you created.
Yeah, they're in there, and I often see them when I don't want to find them. On the search summary view within the search and reporting app, I wonder if there's going to be an image showing me where is it. Okay. Exploring the search. You know, it should be in these slides too. Search, how to search. Search history down here. Okay. It's supposed to be down there somewhere. Oh, I probably have to get out of a specific search and go to the main search page. Oh, that's it. Where you have like data summary and stuff. And it's going to be here.
Search history.
Okay. But while you're doing a search, you can't find it. They got me. So here you'll see them, all of them. Okay. So there's the search history. And I can filter for like purchase. That's why Google is helpful. So now I get only the searches that included the word purchase. Okay, now I feel better. And this is a really short list because you saw I just restarted my server and reinstalled it recently, and so there's only a few things that have been done
I'm
there.
sorry,
Yeah.
with all that, I lost the thread as to why this matters.
Oh, they just wanted us to find the search history
Got it. Okay.
and see how it works.
We need
All right.
to get back and check.
Yeah, if you have a
Yeah.
query you forgot, you didn't take
Yeah,
notes.
and remember, jobs don't last for long, but search history stays a long time, like your browser history.
Okay. So how long does the search history go back? Can we set that like we can job?
I don't know, but I think like your browser history, it probably has a limit of size, like
yeah,
the last
but
time
you can
events.
also do things like go back in detailed settings in Chrome or whatever browser
Right,
you're using
and adjust
yield
that.
more results.
You probably can do that too, but I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. So change the time. So we can now, for one of the searches, click Add to Search. We should be able to use the history and add this to search. So I can add to search. The search is empty, So when I click add to search, it now recreates that search, and I could run it again with a different time range or something. So this is just a way to go back to that search you did before that was useful. Yeah.
So this is probably going to be obvious and
Yeah.
so forth, but I'm just going to say these kinds of things out loud. Because we talked so much about resource management last week in terms of jobs and how
Yeah.
long they last and all that stuff, this becomes just another tool within your workflow for how to save searches, share searches. I'm assuming that you could just as simply copy this, paste it into a Slack box to your coworker,
Right.
ping it to them.
Yes.
They could run their own query real quick.
Yeah.
Not necessarily save the job and bog down the network.
That's right.
And we're working.
That's right. And like I say, you need to have a place you keep notes when you work. This is really important. I remember I used to run databases that had billions of dollars, and people would keep interrupting me in the middle of jobs. So I learned to keep a journal. I had a piece of paper and I'd write down everything I did, because the phone would ring and there'd be an emergency. I have to go off and deal with something for hours. Then I come back and now I only have like 2 hours to finish this all important thing. So I really had to know where I left off. And whenever you're doing this kind of work, you have to have notes. And this is Microsoft OneNote is a real good product for this. But anyway, you have some kind of system where you keep notes of what you're doing, because very often you have to go back to see what did you do before. And if you don't have notes, it can be very hard to reconstruct. This same thing happens to programmers when you're a coder. You have to keep comments and you have to keep notes, because they'll come back and say, that thing you wrote 6 months ago, you need to add this feature. And you're like,
What I did.
I know. I've had things where I wrote code, and I thought this is brilliant, and the next day I look at it, and I say, this is nonsense. Whoever made this is an idiot. Makes no sense at all. This tends to happen,
Well, also, if you work in a big corporation like Google,
Yeah.
I've worked there, and what they do is they have very specific processes for passing code off
Yeah.
before it's checked in, right?
Yeah.
So you do a code review, which requires, I think at least when I worked there, a minimum of 2 other developers
Yeah.
looking at your code, testing it, and agreeing that it meets a standard
See, that's,
before it is then
yeah.
checked into production and launched into the network.
See, that's one philosophy. That's kind of an old-fashioned philosophy. Facebook has a different philosophy. Move fast and break things. You can do anything you want, and they will just roll it out to like 1,000 users and see what happens. And if nobody complains, then it'll be 10,000, and pretty soon it's out there. So everything's just a complete mess, but the point is it's fun. You can just roll out a new feature really fast. That's another philosophy. Like, I know some companies have given up even having a network diagram that's accurate. They say nobody ever updates it. So every time you're going to change the network, you have to like follow the cables to find out what's going on.
These kinds of things make me so nervous, because even the people who are really in control
Yeah.
really do give up a certain amount of control.
Oh, yeah.
And with what we're learning about AI and
yeah.
the fact that even the people that build it don't understand why it does some of the things it does.
Oh, absolutely.
It just makes me so nervous.
Oh yeah, well you're right. We're living in a brave new world where everything's changing so fast. Nobody is really in control of much anymore. And that is what leads basically the Republicans and Trump. They want to roll everything back to 1940 when things were simpler. They say, you don't want your new complicated world. We want the old world just like Leave It to Beaver, where there's only one church, there's only 2 sexes.
I don't want that, but I want regulation to make sure that we don't have an AI agent going out and figuring out how to launch nukes against whatever.
Well, going back to 1940 would accomplish that. Nice, simple, clean way. Anyway, all right, so... all right, and so you can also see them on the jobs page, supposedly, activity jobs. Let's see. Activity jobs, there we are. So there we are, here's my recently created searches. Okay.
But so are these jobs then preserved by Splunk naturally? Or
Yeah,
are
I think-
these only the ones that you've saved?
No, I think they're all preserved, but only for 10 minutes, naturally.
I see, okay.
And you could run them again and stuff.
But unless you set that duration for
Right.
7 days.
It'll
where
clean them off after.
When the database goes, or when the tool goes, this is valuable, we'll hold on to it.
Yeah, so you see, yep. And they created and expires. So they're all going to expire in a few minutes, right? Which is good. All right. And so that, I think, is it for this one. And the only thing I wanted to show you is how you turn it in. So once you're done, you've done all these things. And then to know what to turn in, you go to this part. This was mod 5, I think.
No, 6.
Okay, mod 6. All right, so you go here and I'll tell you what to turn in for mod 6. So you had the end of step 15, and this is the image you turn in. Get this image with these things. So check this thing and make sure you keep a screenshot at the right spot to prove that you did it. That's all. So I'm going to stop this recording.